Hi everybody, I want to do an update on my chestnuts. Today's June 1st, 2015. As you can see, they're growing quite well. These are the buck fours, some wildlife hybrids from Empire. These are some Americans I got off of eBay. These are some Dunstons I got from Chestnut Hill, Pike County. This is some Allegheny chickapins that I got from one of the gracious guys from the QDMA forum. They're growing nicely. Here's some Chinese that I got from the QDMA forum as well. Here's some more of the Americans, wildlife hybrids, and kind of a mixed match of different ones that I had left over that didn't germinate as quickly as I would have liked. Here's another batch of Dunstons, and this is kind of a mixed match of bur oaks, and there's a few chestnuts there behind there. But what I really wanted to show you guys is the effects of not keeping your chestnuts adequately watered while in these Rootmaker 18s. I caught them just in time as they were drying out, and I was able to salvage most of them. I had one or two casualties, but this is what happens to the leaves on the ones that do survive that dry out. You can see the leaf is still pliable, but it's basically dead. This part here, the brown part, and that's due to not being watered. So you've got to check them every day, keep an eye on them, make sure that they have, just go through and touch a few of them, some of the bigger ones, because they'll use more water. Like this one right here is a fairly good size. You know, go in there and touch it, because the bigger ones will use up obviously more water than the smaller ones will. And make sure that they are damp. You don't want them overly damp, but you just want them moist to the touch. And there's been lots of discussion on the QDMA forums about chestnuts and overwatering. You can overwater them, but in this instance, in these Rootmaker 18s and the mix that I'm using, which is Promix BX, actually I don't think you can water them too much. There's some debate on that. I actually did when it was raining a lot here. I've got cages to keep the squirrels out when the seedlings were young and still had the nuts attached, and I actually put a tarp over it to block some of the rain. Now in hindsight, I don't know if that was actually necessary or not, because this is what resulted of that. I was used to it raining all the time, so I never really had to check them to make sure that they had enough water. And when I started blocking the rain, I forgot to check them one day and let it go probably a day too long, and this is the result. So, like I said, with the mix that I use here and these Rootmaker 18s, I don't think you can actually overwater them. You just need to make sure that the mix stays wet, or moist, I should say. Like here's some that are fairly tall. Need to check them. They're all, I think everything's good. I had some dieback here, as you can see right there. Had some dieback. That right there, they're still pliable, but they're going to die. I probably should clip them off. Everything's looking good. Here's a tall one back here. It's got enough moisture, so I think we're good for now. We've got pretty much a week no rain schedule, which is unusual for us, or has been unusual for us. The last month has been very wet, so we're all looking forward to not getting any rain for a week. So I will need to water these with rainwater that I've collected from my house, the roof of my house. Probably, these are still fairly wet, they can probably go another day. This is Monday, so probably at the very latest Wednesday I will need to water these. And I have a pump with the spray wand that I just water them from the top. I used to water them from the bottom by setting them in a tray, but I have so many now that that's not very practical. You'd have to have several trays all filled with water. Kind of defeats the purpose. Even though the wand wastes a little bit more water, I think it does a better job and you can do it quicker. Anyway, June 1st, I'll do another one probably in a couple of weeks. We'll see what the difference is. Take care.